A story about my abusive ex-girlfriend. 13 years ago, I was incredibly concerned with what was going on in my home while I was at work each day. My ex was a stay-at-home mom with our, then 5-year-old daughter because she was born with cerebral palsy, and needed extra care and attention. My ex had been abusive towards me for a number of years at this point, mentally, emotionally and physically. But being over a foot taller than her and easily 80 pounds heavier than her, I just took it and put up with it. But then I noticed my ex was becoming abusive towards our daughter as well. Oftentimes I would have to stand between my ex and our daughter to keep her away, or physically pull her off our daughter and push her away. All the while my ex is screaming at me, punching me in the chest and threatening me. One day my ex was going off on me, screaming her usual tirade of "Get the F out. When are you going to move out? I'm done with you. Have you even looked for a place yet? And another job so you can pay my rent." I was fed up, so I said fine, I'll leave, but I'll never give you custody of our daughter cause of how fucking abusive you are to her. My ex looked me straight in the eye and said, "Good luck getting anyone to believe you." I was silent. What in the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is this? I knew it would be her word against mine. He said, she said. I knew family courts viewed fathers as basically worthless and rarely gave them custody, especially if the child had special needs. At that moment I formed a plan. I stayed silent, and kept the peace for over a week until my next payday, when I went and bought a nanny cam and installed it in our home while my ex was visiting her parents. It didn't take long to record footage of my ex being physically abusive towards our daughter. I took the footage to Child Protective Services and showed them. They called the police and showed them the footage, and an investigation was opened. A week later, despite my ex claiming innocence, swearing she never ever harmed our daughter, and even claimed I was the abusive one, my ex was arrested and charged with 2 counts of assaulting a disabled minor. I packed up everything my daughter and I owned and moved 1,500 kilometers away to live with my parents. I was awarded full custody, and my ex was convicted, and part of her sentencing was zero contact with us for 3 years. When the 3 years were up, my ex made an attempt to remain part of our daughter's life, moving to the town we lived in, and having court-ordered supervised visits with our daughter. That only lasted a couple years. Then my ex moved back with her parents 1,500 kilometers away. It's now been 6 years since we've heard anything from my ex, and my daughter, recently turned 18, is a very happy, giggly girl who is being raised in a safe and loving home. I guess people would believe me, especially after seeing video footage.